Welcome in, folks. It is Friday, and that means we are here for episode 4 of season 2 of The Mandalorian to review on We Have the High Ground, your one-stop shop on the pop culture universe YouTube channel for everything Star Wars. Joining me as always is my homeboy Bogz. How's it going, bud?
Yes, sir. Obviously, chapter 12. How are we all doing, YouTube, by the way? How are we doing to the PCU network? Thank you so much for watching all the videos that we're doing. You know, kind of really happy with the views and stuff. But I'm going to say every episode, please like the videos. Last episode is like 3,500 views, and we've got 80 likes, maybe, if that. So let's get to 100 likes at least, and then we push forward from there. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and can't wait to break this episode down with you, wonderful people.
And speaking of wonderful people, joining us from Florida. I was going to think, what way can I say Florida? Now home, breaking news to the Tampa Bay Raptors. The Toronto Raptors moving to Tampa Bay for this NBA season. So some competition for your Heat. What do you think?
Well, the Miami Heat are just going to do what the Miami Heat does. So that's not competition. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I think that'll be, you might see some Tom Brady people out there be like, whoa, a team. Oh, cool. But you guys are loyal down there. I always respect that about Heat fans. Heat fans are through and through. Bogz, they're the closest to some hooligans that we have over here. They're wild. And don't show up for the whole game, though. We got to talk about that.
I mean, we got traffic.
That traffic is terrible. Traffic is absolutely awful. You know where traffic is not terrible is the middle of the galaxy. I don't know. This galaxy is just so expansive. My man, the Mando, he can just fly wherever he wants. It's pretty awesome. But in this ship, it ain't going to cut it. The ship that he's got. So we're headed to Navarro, like our good friend Hector. Oh, I thought that just always reminds me of him. It's always nice. It's always nice. But first, we meet a new marshal, and this is some stuff. These are not. It's nice that we're seeing, like a common tongue between the show, right? So it's nice to see that. Oh, there's marshals all over the place. So it's just didn't really know that was like common tongue for like what we had for mainly because we only know right. We only know the world through the eyes of the Empire, through an Empire ruled world, and that's governors, that's moffs, that's and so it's a new language that we're learning, and they're creating a new society. And a couple parts of this episode really touch on some like really I wouldn't say groundbreaking, but tentpole ideas in Star Wars in terms of like this society that the Republic sought to be. Like the Outer Rim really wasn't messed with, and because they couldn't be controlled because it was just too far from Coruscant. You just couldn't, like, how are you going to do that? It's just too big. And then the Empire comes in and makes, everything worse. But Soul, you watched this episode, and I'm fresher than all of us. So I'll ask you, were you satisfied with the, I guess, substance of the episode?
This was probably one of my favorite episodes so far of the series. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that it still expanded the universe, even though we were going back to Navarro, a place that we've been to before. You had little things that reminded us of different areas of the Star Wars universe. The M count, we all know what that is.
We're going to talk for like 25 minutes. I have a feeling we're going to talk for like 25 minutes about the M count.
But yeah, it goes going into just little different things. There's so many little Easter eggs of things that they said, things that you see. There's great visual moments. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode.
So Bogz, you're easily satisfied, I'll say.
True.
You seem to be fairly satisfied with this episode. So please tell me, sir, what exactly has this season done differently than season 1 to continue the hits, right? I feel like in season 1, there was a tendency to We're going to talk about something that some people of a certain age won't understand, but a gear shift in a car, right? Many times we would be in fifth gear by the end of an episode and then drop down to first, like really fast at the beginning of the next episode. This has just seemed that we're staying in like from the 5 to 3 range in this season. Like everything seems to be building and sustaining. They're not, we're not having deep down. So what are they doing here to keep us so, to keep these levels so high?
Well, to be honest, that's a big question. I mean, I can do a whole episode on that. All sorts. I mean, much more character development. I think the story and the overall plot is more interesting. But that's not kind of the first season's fault. That's just obviously the amount of time that we've had with characters and the journey that they've come on. It's funnier this season. The kind of Force elements, the Jedi elements, the building the world, or the universe, expanding the universe. Sorry, like you said. Like you mentioned, they called obviously Cara Dune Marshal. They called a Grief Karga Magistrate. They're calling the obviously the X-wing pilot officers. So they're kind of establishing that this is now a lived-in world post Return of the Jedi. So yeah, the music's obviously great. I feel like we know the characters now, and I feel like the child has now, as opposed to the first season, he actually has a personality now. Like you're kind of, especially in that classroom and how he was with that child and stuff, and his humor. Like now we're getting kind of used to it, and we're seeing his jokes and what he laughs at, what he doesn't laugh at. So I did appreciate this more kind of than in the first season. And yeah, just being a part of a bigger story. He has a plan, and coming to a head. Like obviously we can talk about this later, but coming to a head, the final 3 episodes, for me it feels like there's like almost like a battle that's going to happen towards the end, in terms of the who's on the Mandalorian side and the Empire side, because obviously the Empire, I'm going a bit deep into it now, but obviously the Moff Gideon has got the Darksaber. How has he got the Darksaber against these Mandalorians? You must have a next level size fleet to be able to take these guys on, because we've seen the Mandalorians, the little that we have seen of them, especially for the people that haven't watched Rebels or Clone Wars, that these guys are pure warriors and fighters. How has he managed to get that Darksaber without, you must have put up a hell of a fight. So I think that's all going to come to a head this season. Hopefully we'll get into that a bit later, but yeah, there's lots of differences, and I'm much more invested this season. Like I love this season. Last season I liked it a lot, but I actually love this season. So yeah, there's a lot of differences for me.
Definitely. So, with that being said, sir, please do us the favor of taking us through the plot points of this episode. Please, sir, sneak on down through them steps in the Jedi Temple, uncover us a scroll and tell us the story of what happened in
Let me just get my
2, episode 4,
Jedi
chapter
text
12. Yes, open up the holocron.
Yes. Yeah, so I'll just go run through it quickly, because obviously we are going to break it down as well. But yeah, obviously he's having problems with the ship, of course. The Mon Calamari didn't do a great job with it. So, he's elected to go to Navarro, where his friends are, to try and obviously repair the ship. And yeah, obviously he meets Cara Dune and, of course, the other aliens that are in the kind of armory place where all the Mandalorians were. She's come and kind of whoop them. And then, yeah, they've obviously teamed up back with a Mando. They've dropped the child off at like a school almost, and then obviously we've seen, this is what I'm on about. We've seen the child's personality, using the Force, which is great. Finally, we've seen him, because we've seen how many times like he can get food or he can try to parry things. And we've seen him kind of do it there. And again, like we said, world building, where Grief Karga's mentioned that, they should leave the Outer Rim alone. The Empire's tried it. And they couldn't sort it, so why are the now New Republic trying to sort it, right? And then going from there, they've obviously the child, in the school and everything, and then they've told Din Djarin about, whilst you're here, we've got a mission for you. Go into the old Imperial base. We know you need the weapons. We need, that's the last remnants of the Empire on Navarro, and then we'll have full control. So basically, they set out to there, along with is it Mithril, the character from the first episode, who I absolutely loved. Like I think I laughed at almost everything he said, for some reason. It's just because it's obviously Carl Weathers has directed this. It felt like to me like an action adventure from like the 80s or 90s. Films that he was in. Fun, comedic action adventure movies, straight out of that era. So I'm not surprised that he obviously directed it. I think these kind of fall into his strengths. And then they've obviously need to they work their way through to kind of like an unknown area in this imperial site where they've found some laboratory work, let's say. Obviously we'll get into that. Just hold off on that. We've seen obviously a holocron with the doctor that we've seen in the first couple of episodes of the first season, explaining that we've had trials that have failed, the M count, all this stuff. That's obviously a message from Moff Gideon that was recorded recently, and then they've just kind of got out separately. So obviously they're split up. Mando's obviously jetpacked out of there, and the others, Cara Dune and Grief Karga and Mithril, kind of fought their way out. Stole the kind of vehicle, the Imperial vehicle, and the great kind of car chase scene. So that's obviously lasted a while, and then the Mandos come and saved them with the fixed Razor Crest, finally. Because I thought if they can't fix it, he needs to get rid of that, because that's been it's causing a hindrance now. And then just to tie up the episode, obviously the X-wing has pulled up. It's the same obviously X-wing pilot who seems to marshal that area. Navarro, the ice planet, he was there, and obviously with Dave Filoni, but he wasn't there in this episode. Maybe trying to recruit Cara Dune at the end there, who seemed to be kind of contemplating his offer, being from Alderaan and stuff. So a couple of emotional kind of twists there, trying to get her back involved. And then obviously you've seen that wonderful scene at the end on some new Imperial vehicle, kind of ship, where Moff Gideon finally appears on screen, not in a holocron, I mean actually on camera. We see again something at the end, which I'm sure we'll discuss. But that's the overall thought of it. Just my quick opinion on the episode. I thought it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was probably the funniest episode of The Mandalorian. The overall, it didn't push the overall plot, which I did have criticisms of that in the second episode, but it brought in other aspects of the universe that can kind of overall tie in the plot, such as like the clones that were happening and the additional army at the end. Maybe that will link back to the siege of Mandalore, that kind of thing. So lots of questions, but good to see that old characters come back. And I love the child. I thought Cara Dune was great. I thought the Mithril was great. So that's my overall rundown of this episode.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you very much. Break.
Very, can we have time
very
out?
well done. Very well done, sir. Yes, go take a crack open a carton of blue.
You guys go.
That's all, and I got this for a second. Okay, so we'll start at the top. So go ahead and the car just broke through those dudes. Like, that was absolutely nothing, by the way. And they are a Qualish. That is the name of their species. And they just have these butt faces. I had to look them up, and I typed in butt face looking alien in Star Wars. And Ponda Baba from the Mos Eisley Cantina showed up, and he's like, my friend doesn't like you.
Yeah, I've seen that ugly one before. Right,
so. I don't like you either.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so what were you thinking when she was just like slicing through these dudes like hot butter?
She's a badass. Cara Dune is such a badass. It was like, okay, it's not just the Mandalorian that can go in one against like 5 people. She can as well. And she'll just go in and win and just slice everyone up. And it's like, yes, badass.
Yeah, so she's got, I gotta separate the art from the artist for a second. She just brings this like brute strength that you see from reminds me of Rekka from the Bad Batch, the big guy who you just throw in the front. And he just throw him out front, and he's like, just a huge oversized dude that's just like, I'm gonna take this. Yeah. And even more so, I feel like she's the one. If you put a Mandalorian helmet on her, she could run through anything. I feel like she just needs to wear a helmet all the time, because she could just be a wrecking ball. Fair shot too. She takes out these dudes pretty square. These guys are, by the way, they're tearing up the Mandalorian covert, looking for stuff left by the armorer, it seems. Guess we still have no idea where the armorer is. Please be okay. You have one of the dopest outfits in Star Wars history. I will stand on that for a long time. That gold helmet is unbelievable. It's just something that, the plot on Navarro definitely was just kind of, it was one shotty, but at the same time, I just like, okay, how do we want to do this? So let's talk about the child being cute, then we'll get to the M count stuff, and then we'll get to the stuff at the end with Moff Gideon. Okay, so there's a school there. How long have they been gone? Where are these children? Where are all these children?
With
Were
the
they
protocol
inside?
droid.
Yeah, with the what? With the whole protocol. What? Bogz? What? How?
First of all, the cuteness, it started actually before the Cara
Oh my
scene
god, when he's doing the
ship.
spins.
We're trying to do the wires. No, with the blue and the red
wires.
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 Yeah, and again, that was straight out of an 80s comedy, straight out of there. You know, and I'm pretty sure that you know, Carl Weathers would have been influential with that, along with obviously, you know, the great Filoni and John Favreau. But yeah, you know, it's like, shall I put the red one in? No, the other one, and it goes on. Like, it's great. It's great humor. It's straight physical comedy, straight out of that era. And definitely belongs in the Mandalorian.
He is not talking to him like his kid either.
Yeah.
He's like talking to
he
him
seems
like
to understand. That's what I mean. He's developing a personality. He seems to understand. Like, no, like, you know, obviously he didn't understand fully, but you know, you can talk to him like a little child. Like, I just thought it was super cute. And yeah, just to cover on Cara Dune, I know you guys obviously spoke. Yeah, exactly. Spoke really well about her, but you know, I gotta say, right, I gotta be perfectly honest. I honestly think that she's one of the best physical female fighters I think I've ever seen in any action format. Like, you can tell it's her doing all the stunts. Like, that you believe her physically picking people up and kind of suplexing people and just putting the kind of smackdown on all these people. You just fully believe her. Like, I kind of love the way every time I see her fighting like that, I just think, you know, that she should be a part of the DCU or MCU. Like, she just should be like a superhero, like a Black Widow or like a Wonder Woman. Like, that's Wonder Woman to me. Like, how she kind of physically fights and stuff. So,
well, Bogz, maybe if she wasn't such an asshole on the internet, she could do whatever she wanted to be.
Yeah, well, you know, you said it. Yeah, so I did love that. And then, yeah, going on to, you know, the school again, it's super cute. Like, finally he uses the Force. You know, I did laugh out loud when, you know, he puts his hand out like, please sir, can I have one? And he's like, no. It's, you know, the boy with the macaroon things. He's like, no, you can't. And he just took it, yeah, and he kind of yams it down. So yeah, super cute. So I thought, oh, it's one of these episodes. Like, it's gonna be a super
I'm a
cute
Boy Scout. He loved Boy Scout cookies. He was like, let me get them cookies, please. And he kept the whole sleeve too. He had the whole sleeve still with him at the end. I was like, my man is learning to conserve.
Exactly.
Before he's just like, whole ass frog. Wow. He just already slurped it up. I was like, oh, sorry. I ate a whole frog. I was like, now I'm taking my time with these cookies. These are nice. And he's okay. Man, what is he gonna learn there and learn something? What did he learn today? Oh, well, Mando, I need the cutscene like 2 minutes after they're done flying out of there. I need him to be like, did you learn anything interesting? But then what if he like actually went back, you know, fixed the ship? Well, if they already fixed the ship, but if he was like red, blue, I'll be like, first words.
Yeah, true.
It's just gonna be interesting if that thing ever says anything. It's gonna be the fucking wildest.
Yeah,
moment
it's cool. Like, I heard a couple of like, you know, like he's getting there. Yeah, he's getting there. So I'm like, oh, you know, he might actually say something this season. So we'll see. It's getting close.
We'll see. Okay, so they go on a mission that supposedly Grief Karga says this is the last Imperial settlement on the planet. We get them out of here. It's over. They're off the planet. We don't have to deal with them anymore. I'm cool with that. That seems like a very viable reason to need some help. You probably want your boy in Beskar. Just thinking ahead, we'll probably want to maybe scout a little better. Didn't seem to understand fully what didn't
He
fully
said a
understand what was
skeleton
going on
crew.
here.
Yeah, a skeleton crew is there.
Yeah, I'm
So
like, I
that's
don't know
not.
about
Yeah,
not a skeleton crew.
yeah.
Maybe it could have been one of those things where
Unless he tricked him to get him there because they know like literally said, "Yo, we need your help." So maybe
right.
they tricked him to get him there.
They probably
Um,
knew. They probably knew what was going on. That's one of those things. These people in the outer rim, they're not
such a
trustworthy
grief
folk.
cargo. Yeah. We've seen him be kind of quite sly
He's
before.
be
So
some shifty. Yeah. So we get there. Okay. I thought the stuff with the mithril was kind of funny. He's kind of sitting there and he's kind of joshing him and he's giving him a hard time. And he's got him with a 350-year like sentence. And he's like, how about I knock some years off that for you? I'm like, this guy will be free by the end of the episode. So,
and he's reversing in his speeder and he's like, "Oh, I meet at the rendezvous point, right?" He's like,
yeah,
"No, where
but
are you
what?
going? Stay here."
Come
Yeah.
on, we need you. He's like terribly splicing. I'm like, oh, what do you mean splicing, Cara? Do you not understand how hard
Yeah.
it is to splice something with just like what was that? Just like a torch? But they get in. Their main goal is to flood it with lava because Navarro is a lava-based planet, as we've seen, if we remember in the scene with IG-11 or IG-88. Which one? It's IG-11.
11, yeah.
And that's the scene in the lava pit, and they're in whatever. So keeping in, context with the rest of the planet, they have to flood the base with lava. Eventually see that sets off a chain reaction of all the stormtroopers coming through. By the time we eventually find ourselves in a room with two officers who are trying to basically wipe the hard drives. Like this is like the FCC is coming into your tax evading company and they are coming for everything. And you have like drills and are drilling holes in your hard drives. Like this is some serious stuff that's going on here. They're like, oh, this is bad. Which I guess it doesn't really, it's not that they were like there for the information either, even though I guess they could have thought they were there for the information, but it did just also seem like a reactor overloaded. It kind of seems like the stuff would have just been backed up anyways. Empire, back up your hard drives, maybe just back them up regularly. Mine do it pretty much like every 4 hours, whatever. Just seemed like a little irresponsibleness on the hand of the Empire here. Leading our heroes to find, I'm just going to say it, those look like the Emperor. Those are like test Emperor clones. That's what this is. We are stepping into the project that brings back the Emperor. That has to, that's it. That can't be anything else. That thing looked like Snoke. You could tell me that was a Snoke, and I'd be like, well, yeah. True. Look, I'm not going to tell you it's not. I haven't watched, the great Alex Damon tell me what it is or isn't. So, once, he's probably spoken on it a little bit. So I'll probably learn a little more then. But this seems very, very Snokey. Soul, do you smell a little Snoke?
Yeah, that was my big question when watching. I was like, what is in that shape of water tube that we have there? And that we know a little bit more now of why they wanted Baby Yoda. They were extracting his blood to infuse it into
A dude's got
whatever these
such a
things are.
high M count. A
'Cause he has
dude's
a high
M count is huge. It's awesome.
Which it brings it back to something you guys said in previous episodes, because he was born the same year as Anakin. With Anakin's M count goes, what if there's just a correlation there?
They're a dyad in the Force. Yeah, what is this thing? Is this Shape of Water? What is this? I'm looking at it right now. This looks like Shape of Water.
I love that movie, by the way. Side note. But yeah, so before obviously I commented that, when they kind of turn on the lava thing and flood it, the whole kind of 5 minutes of the mithril, again, I thought he was super funny. He seemed like an 80s sidekick, like when there's a gang of heroes or there's two kind of, there's two, like a buddy cop thing. And there's, the side one that says, I hate lava. He's like, there's no barrier here. Like, straight out of, the original.
He was
trilogy.
the Tyrese of this episode.
100%.
He was Tyrese in Fast and the Furious.
In the original trilogy, when they're kind of using the Death Star, I think that's
C3PO-ish. He's very 3PO-ish in the moment. Yeah.
when the Imperials are using the Death Star and there's no barriers, you know, with the kind of Death Star rays and stuff. I think that's a direct kind of you know, shot that from that. So yeah,
The
I loved all
Empire
that
will
stuff.
save you. Have faith in your Empire. You will be saved. You
Exactly.
don't need rails. We don't need to
Exactly.
afford.
Doesn't like
Now
heights, doesn't like lava.
that sounds like a really good SNL skit where they're like, so no rails. And this just so now that seems actually it should be like Robot Chicken
yeah,
because the
exactly.
rails are a problem.
Yeah,
Because
of course.
I mean, sorry, Han Solo, no rails.
Exactly.
Why can we not just put rails in places in
You think
Star
so?
Wars?
Do you think
I
so?
think he still would have been pushed over the rails.
What if it's like an anti-skateboard thing? They're like, we had a really, really, really bad, like galaxy-wide skateboard thug, like millennium, where they were just all so we took the rails out, no more skateboards. Ah,
No, I could
Something
just see
like that.
Darth Vader shredding. He's just going around the test, and the Emperor's like, "Stop it!"
Yeah, just going into that clone thing or whatever it was. I mean, that literally came out of the blue because they walked in the scene as well. Obviously, you saw them trying to destroy the evidence, and he just turns, and then you see these tanks. I was like, "Wow, what's this?" So yeah, and then obviously you get the hologram of the Doctor. Yeah, I definitely it looks Snoke-ish, and they obviously mentioned the M count. So this just goes back to me from when people say, "Oh, you know, I want to see new Star Wars, but you know, I want to see the new. I don't want to see any of the old characters or anything that we know." Sorry, no, you're wrong. This is fire, and this is tiny stuff from the prequels. Okay, so this old Star Wars
and the
ain't going nowhere.
sequels.
Exactly.
This
Exactly. Yeah.
is not the
100%.
first order.
100%.
I'm gonna say it. This
Not yet.
is the final order. Whatever this is the crazy faction that still worships
Yeah, it
the
could be. Yeah.
Emperor.
For
This
sure.
is this is that group because this is a whole different thing. This is not the first order. They do not smell like it. Like this is like it's just some whole other level of like giving a shit because those stormtroopers weren't bad either, and those scout troopers were pretty ready to go. I don't know how many scout troop legions are still left, but like those dudes still had access to stuff. I'm looking at this thing like they're talking about M count, they're talking about metachlorians. Like, come on now, they gotta be talking about trying to get it to the Emperor. We gotta have a blood sample that's strong enough to get the Emperor. It's like,
And they need more. They need more. So
they
you
need
know,
more of it.
the child. And plus, you just mentioned the stormtroopers. There, I did make a few notes of some of the lines that they're doing. The lines that the stormtroopers are using are in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. You know, obviously the Wilhelm scream was there when you know the stormtroopers are getting knocked down. But you know, just little lines that blast them, or like you know they're on the move. Like they're just directly from the original trilogy. I did notice a lot of the Imperials were American this time. Did anyone else notice that? Normally, obviously, they're British, like we said before, but like they were every Imperial at the base, and then later
I'm sorry,
on
did
that
we
ship
offend you?
was all American. No, it just took me out a little bit. I just thought, oh, okay. Normally, I was expecting, you know, some kind of Brit voice or accent.
These were
But no,
defectors, I guess. You know.
yeah,
It could
maybe
have
who
been
knows?
worse. It could have been American doing an awful British accent.
Yeah, maybe. But obviously from that kind of scene, you know, they've established that they need to get the child. Din Djarin zoomed off, and then Cara Dune's
Like literally
obviously
just
managed to
takes
get out.
off.
Yeah, like I need to
What
go.
a shot! Like,
It's
just hold on, just for a second. Just talk about that shot. He is
Yeah,
just
oh
like,
yeah, sorry, yeah.
phew, just goes right up through the pit, comes right out, and they're all like,
Yeah.
and then he grabs the
And
dude
he does it
and
again,
he drops him down. Like,
yeah.
and the dude thought like nothing is better when I see some that's the comedy in
Jetpack,
Star Wars that I like. When the troopers look down like,
yeah.
shit, I got another one. Like that's my
Yeah.
friend. I don't even know who that was. Like, I don't even know what friend that
Exactly.
was.
Yeah.
It's like,
And he's landed on the thing. He's took out the two guys, like, and then he zoomed off again. Yeah, I know
the takeoff, the
see,
run into the takeoff is so awesome.
so these Mandalorians with their jetpacks, it's just I can watch that for the whole episode. There's something about it. There's just so like you saw it so many times in animations. Like every time you see it, you just think, oh man, like I never thought I'd see that. So yeah, I love that.
Oh, there is one thing we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
The scene of them sipping together. That was in the cuteness section.
Yes.
And you see him lift his helmet up.
Yeah, of course.
and he
I
takes
was
a
looking for
little
his
drink,
mustache. I was like, "Dude, has he still got his mustache?"
and then you can hear the anytime I hear that helmet sound in
Yeah,
Star Wars, it's like,
clicks. So it is, yeah.
it's so nice, it's so
Maybe he's
cool.
like, you guys can see my chin, and that's it.
Oh, that is it. Because
Yeah.
spoilers, it's not me.
I think he's got to meet some kind of contractual agreement. Like his face has got to be in like 3 or 4 episodes or something like that. So I think that counts as one or something. But yeah, they've obviously tried to blast their way out now because obviously all the troopers are coming after him, and then they've kind of stole this Imperial vehicle thing that we've seen in the trailers. And then yeah, you mentioned it before, like where they get out and then it comes after this awesome speak by Chase. But yeah, I thought the whole thing looked great, like a car chase again out of an 80s, 90s movie, obviously with in a surreal setting with different effects and stuff. But I thought the troopers on the bikes looked great, and the X-wings taking off, pulling up and taking off. Just hearing the noise of not the X-wings, the TIE fighter pilots, and just hearing the noise of them with the blasters
And
obviously
the speeder bike sounds
Yeah,
were
yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, man. It's
Wow.
literally like I went up to my
talking
computer.
computers. It's like
It's like I went up to the speaker and I recorded Return of the Jedi, and they were like,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, here you go. Let me, you
And
guys
the
got that
fact that it's
MP3?
another trench run too. It's
Yeah.
like they're going through a trench again, and they're
right,
just
yeah.
like, "Give me more, give me that."
That and that train, the design of that train, the context, the texture of that train really reminded me, or sorry, the car reminded me of the train from Solo.
Mhm.
The
Okay,
train
yeah.
that they're on top of
Mhm.
just kind of reminds me of like, there's definitely a difference between on some of these planets. You can tell the like the gorilla AT-ATs from The Last Jedi
Mm.
are kind of bigger, right? They're made for like a deeper terrain,
Mm.
and you can kind of tell they're made for more drastic temperatures and stuff. And I just love that kind of thick body stuff where it's like, I know my dudes aren't going to get blown up with one shot, right? So if like the TIE lands one shot, it doesn't blow up the whole fucking thing. That to me is like such a stressful moment in stuff where like they're all on speeder bikes, right? So like Luke and Leia, you're like 2 shots away from the radiator blowing up and you blowing up. Like it's very close to death. And it's just, it's nice to have a little bit of stakes on both sides. And Grief Karga is not a bad Grief Karga. I always have to do the, it's funny. I love him so much. I miss him. We didn't kill him, right? Is he still
I
alive?
don't think so.
No. I think he's dead.
Oh, he is. Oh,
Isn't he dead in the season finale when they're in the bar and he shoots him?
Who are you talking about? The Werner Herzog?
Werner Herzog.
but I
Yeah, he
mean,
died. Yeah, Moff Gideon.
okay,
killed
okay,
him.
He
okay.
Moff Gideon killed him.
Or the early blaster shots, whoever that was. Yeah.
Right.
I think
Oh,
I
yeah,
wiped
he's
it from
dead.
my memory because I'm sad about it.
It's okay, Soul. I'm just living in the Force.
Yeah, and then and obviously the Razor Crest has saved the day and blasted all the TIE fighters, and he's fixed now finally. Yeah, looking fresh. He's showing off
my ride.
the child, and the child's loving it as well. Yeah, like when the
He was
things
so
he's blowing
excited.
things
It
up,
was like him on a roller
eating his
coaster.
macaroni. He's like, yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Throw up.
and he throws up. Yeah, and he cleans it with his.
When he leans back and he's flying, I'm like, Dad, it's
Exactly.
Dad.
Yeah. So, like I said, they're building his personality. They're making it, him enjoying these things getting blasted out of the sky, and obviously throwing up now. Finally, after eating something, instead of just eating everything, there is consequences of what you eat, right?
Can't have too much sugar. Can't have too much sugar, kid. You gotta eat your fish.
eggs.
Yeah, your frogs.
Sugar.
Your squids with mouth teeth thing from the last episode. Whatever, kid. Whatever you're eating and whatever that broth is, I guess Dad's got some bone broth in like a in one of those thermoses that they all the space thermoses, which is always nice.
Exactly.
Okay. So the last shot.
But obviously we've seen the X-Wing as well come back.
Oh, right. The X-Wing come back with the officer.
Yes. The same one, obviously, from episode 2, clearly patrolling the same area, Navarro and that other ice planet. I forgot the name. But yeah, he's obviously had a shot at trying to recruit Cara Dune as well into the rebellion, saying, we can do with your help, that kind of thing. Obviously from Alderaan as well. They've tried the emotional kind of twisting her arm thing. She looks like she's considering. I didn't notice it before, but her beauty spot where the rebellion logo there, I did love that.
Been there since the first time we saw her.
I know she's got the obviously beauty spot.
The
as it is,
Funko,
right?
I got the Funko. The Funko,
oh.
it has it on there too, so it's more
Okay.
it's more predominant.
There was a few close-ups this episode, so I thought, oh, that's how I've seen it. But yeah, she's obviously contemplating that, and then sorry, carry on to the last scene that you're saying.
What the hell was that? Are those clones? Are those suits? What is this? Tony Stark? Is he building Ultron? I'm like, what is happening here? This is not because those. It was very strange because I'm pulling it up. He's got people with him in this. He's got one dude. There's look to be pilot suits, and he's just preparing for battle. I think I can't tell other than I don't see really anything other than because what reminds me of is the tubes. They have the tubes coming out of their suits for the air for when they're pilot.
In the fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what makes me think of it here. But it looks like they're like super soldiers. Yeah, it looks like they're like super soldiers. I'm like, what is going on here? Are these like new death troopers? Soul, did you have any thoughts? Like, I mean, what do you think's happening?
I think these may be going back to the sequel trilogy. These might be the people that end up piloting and end up working on those ships that the Emperor raises up. Because I know that was the question: is where did he get all these people from? Maybe this is going to answer that.
It's just the start of maybe like this is like I really think, and I wonder, oh man, if I'm right, I love being right on stuff like that.
Go on, I've got one, but you go first. Let me hear your theory.
I think they're not just cloning the Emperor then. All right. Like those Sith troopers, I got the Funko Pop somewhere, the red ones. The Sith ones, that was a lot of people. Where'd y'all get these people? Where'd y'all get these ships? And they were just underground? No, these were clones. They've been cloning again. Maybe Jedi Master Sifo Dyas bust out his credit card again. I know he's got good credit on Camino. Bust that thing out. Swipey. Come on now. This is we got to think big picture here. I know it's like, hey, this is a small story, but this is a big world. And this thing just got a whole lot bigger if he's got an army of clones. Ooh.
And the Doctor has a Camino patch too
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, just obviously that ship as well, that we've not seen that kind of model of an Imperial ship before, come in over the top like a New Hope as well, coming in, showing how long the ship is, intimidating and all that. And then obviously they've planted the device on the Razor Crest so Moff Gideon can keep track. But like this is what I mean. So my 2 points to kind of end my overall thoughts is like when people say I want to see new stuff, I don't want to see old characters. Couple episodes we've seen Boba Fett, right? Now we're talking about midichlorians and he's tying in the sequels trilogy. Like, what are we talking about here? This is Star Wars. You can't not connect the past. Like, yes, the story moves forward, even though it's set in the middle of the timeline, but the story moves forward, but it comes alongside the past. That is Star Wars. So I'm sorry people that don't like it, but I absolutely love it. Secondly, where I think the story's going, or I hope so anyway, what I mentioned earlier, that I think it's come to some final battle. So this is maybe a hint, to the army that with maybe how he's maybe taken the Darksaber in the first place, or Mandalore or somewhere else, and everyone else will team up. I think the Mandalorians. I think the Boba Fett maybe, or
say the A word.
Yeah, of course, Ahsoka has to be that. And obviously Grief Karga, Cara Dune, everyone who's on the Mandalorian side, Din Djarin's side, against the Empire. And obviously Moff Gideon.
I got some link to the New Republic too. The New Republic can get a phone call. Dave Filoni, show on up. We got a couple folks who might need some help. This is Like I mean, come on, we got Lightspeed, so
And
wahoo.
Timothy Oliphant's character as well. What was his name?
Um,
Cobb Vanth as
Cobb
well. Yeah,
Vanth.
Yeah.
and all
So we
them.
got a
Yeah.
whole we got a whole group of people there too. This whole
Got a lot
thing's
of friends.
cracked ready. This is ready. This is ready to explode. So you got
I
any
can
final
see
thoughts
that
as we wrap up?
I
it's
just
coming.
really enjoyed this episode. I think it leaves little things that hopefully is going to be answered later in this season, or it could just be
Mhm.
answered later in like season 3 or 4, or however long this goes on. I think they're just planting these little things that us as like really Star Wars nerds who watched all the Rebels and Clone Wars and all the movies and all that, we're gonna notice it. And we're just gonna be like, see, here, more reasons to go watch Clone Wars and Rebels.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm just excited to see what's gonna go forward. We have 4 episodes left.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that sets me up, that keeps me going, is we're way further along in this season with a
Mhm.
plot and everything than what we even knew was going on last season. And it just opens the door for these next 4 episodes. The next one's directed by the master himself, Dave Filoni, and it's going to be one of the greatest things any of us have ever seen on television in our
Come on,
entire lives. I
come on.
cannot be more excited. All these weeks have flown by. I feel like this is going to be the slowest week of all time. One, because Thursday is American Thanksgiving. I can't wait to eat a bunch of beautiful food. Going to see my mom. And my stepdad got some wonderful news today when my stepdad went back for a final PET scan for his cancer and cancer free for the second time. So we're celebrating, and we're just gonna have a nice, good old time. It's only 4 of us, so not like a big old gathering of people. Just just eating a bunch of beautiful food. So, but then I gotta wait for Friday till the Mandalorian. But luckily, I get to watch it on a 60-some inch 4K TV instead of my
Yay.
TV. So it's gonna be
That's a good 2
awesome.
days though, right? You got that Thursday, you got Friday Mandalorian. You know, it's a good couple of days. Nice holiday.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Except these weeks have gone by like really fast. That now I just feel like this is gonna be the one week that's gonna be like gonna go snoring
Maybe.
by, gonna go snoring by. But
Maybe.
well, folks, that'll do it for us. Let's throw it over. Soul, where can the fine folks on the internet find you?
You can find me at SoulGovin on Twitter, at soul.k.govin on Instagram. You can find me here in Pop Culture Universe YouTube channel, and you can also find me over at the Media Sweaties Network YouTube channel. I started this new show called Soul Talk. We have episode 2 just went up on Wednesday, and had my very good friend Callie from college, and one of the things we talked about was Oran High School Host Club. So definitely go check that out.
Awesome. Got content on content on content on content. I love it. Got to keep working.
Yep.
Bogzy, we got a busy day today.
Yes, we have. Just confirm, is this episode going up today?
Oh, of course, this episode's going on today, baby.
So, obviously, tune in, watch our other show, the Ultimate Shmonar Show. We live Friday nights, 4
Ever
p.m.
heard of it?
4 p.m. on Pacific. We've got loads to talk. You know, that charity event we done last week, 4 matches the last week, and we've got a wonderful guest, the champ himself, Inner Geekdom champion Chandru Dandapani. He will be joining us to break all things down, talking about his great matches, spectacular. But anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, join us here on the next week, obviously, of we have the High Ground Show, Watch Hour, holiday special review. You can catch the Pop Talk episodes on Sundays.
Over 3,000 views on Pop Talk already, y'all.
Oh,
Exactly.
wow.
Please like the video, guys. That's my last.
Colin and I now
obviously,
have to watch a
impression.
movie.
Yeah, we have to watch A Quiet
Yeah,
Place.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think I'm doing that
Oh, dear.
possibly tonight. I think I've talked because I don't have a lot of free time this
Oh,
weekend.
you're doing it before Sunday? Is that what the plan is, or no? You don't have to. I'm just.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it before Sunday. I think I'm
Okay.
just gonna do it.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. It's good.
Okay. I'm
Really good.
scared.
I'm right here with you, Colin.
Okay.
I'm smiling, but inside I'm like, no.
I'm trying. Well, folks, just want to shoot a shot here. I bet the next week's episode is The Apprentice. The title of the episode. Gotta take a shot there.
That'll be fine.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick. All right, folks. Well, that'll do it for this episode of We Have the High Ground. Join us here as always, like Bogz said, every Friday on the PCU YouTube channel. And yeah, find me at _C Morris anywhere. Colin Morris's Art Sold on the internet. And we'll see you next week as we break down the most anticipated episode of television the entire season. Okay, cool. Bye. See you then.
Can't wait.